So the Indiana Fever are not done in free agency. A lot of people think that the Indiana Fever are done. They are not done. Under no circumstances are the Indiana Fever finished. And if you guys want the Indiana Fever to make more free agency signings, subscribe. We are trying to get to 42,800 by the end of the day, and we are 24 off. So, let's talk about it. The Indiana Fever have a roster right now of 12 players. Sydney Colson is also on the roster. The Indiana Fever, if you guys don't know, cannot afford this. They can't. They literally cannot afford this. They have 66,000 in salary, and Sydney Colson's veteran minimum is like 76,000. They are over the salary cap right now, and in the WNBA, it is a hard cap. Non-guaranteed contracts on the team include Jaylen Brown, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and for some reason, Dewana Bonner. And I think Lexi Hull's guaranteed. So, the only player that they can cut is Jaylen Brown. That they're going to cut is Jaylen Brown. They're not going to cut Dewana Bonner, Caitlin Clark, or Aaliyah Boston. But, as of right now, if you cut Jaylen Brown, you literally cannot afford to bring in a 12th player. It is impossible for the team to bring in a 12th player. Right now, with Sydney Colson coming in, they are above the salary cap. They're going to have to cut somebody in order to be under the salary cap. Or they can do what I expect to happen. Katie Lou Samuelson or Christy Wallace, or both, being involved in some sort of a contract dumping trade, and you're going to have to give up a pick. A team that is tanking, again, the Valkyries are the obvious option. The Sun, maybe. Sun might be interested in Wallace, maybe. Like, Christy Wallace isn't a bad, 12th player. The problem is that she's on a guaranteed contract, so you can't cut her, and she is on, about 80k a year, which is a bit above the vet's minimum. So, one of those two has to go, basically. Or they bite the bullet and trade Lexi Hull, which I don't think is going to happen. But if you can't get anyone to trade for Katie Lou or Christy Wallace, you have to then either trade one of Damaris Dantas or Lexi Hull. And I don't think that's going to happen. But it might have to. Like, if you are unable to get off one of the two, like, Christy Wallace isn't even a bad contract. The problem with Christy Wallace is just guaranteed money. Or Katie Lou, which is a terrible contract. Like, you literally have to then trade one of the two players that you probably want to keep in Lexi Hull and Damaris Dantas. And then if you get rid of Damaris Dantas, it's the smallest team in the history of basketball. And then you're probably going to then have to get rid of Lexi Hull, which you don't want to do because she's a potential starter. Like, there's a non-zero chance she starts. Like, I do think we're going to see very soon that Katie Lou contract. That Katie Lou trade. Because I'm not even sure if they can even announce Sydney Colson until they get more salary. Like, Sydney Colson signed with the Fever. I don't know if they actually can do it. I don't know what the way the rules are. But it's the second that, I don't know if they have to be under the salary cap for the entirety of the offseason. But they're over the cap. They're about $10,000 over the hard cap. So the Indiana Fever literally cannot go out with this current team, the current team they have, with Sydney Colson added in. They are over the salary cap. Natasha Howard is making $215K. Dewana Bonner is making $200. Katie Lou is making $180. Lexi Hull is making about $95. Damaris Dantas is around the same. Sophie Cunningham $100 on the dot. Christy Wallace making $80. And I don't know what Aaliyah Boston is. I think Caitlin's around $80. I think Aaliyah might be around $85 for the rookie deals. But they need to make more moves. And not like the Indiana Fever need to make more moves to get better. No, they need to make moves to register Sydney Colson. If they want to have Sydney Colson on their team, they need to make more moves. I'm not entirely sure if they're going to, but they actually need to. It is an impossibility to play this team as currently constructed. Like, they will have to potentially go out with 11 players. And you can cut Jaylen Brown and bring in Sydney Colson. But then you will literally have to go out with 11 players. So if they don't trade one of Christy Wallace again or Katie Lou, they have to start the season with 11 players. Neither of their draft picks, by the way. And if they're not able to trade one of those two, neither of their draft picks can literally neither of their draft picks can make the team. With the way their contracts are, if they don't trade one of Katie Lou Samuelson or Christy Wallace, for either of their draft picks to be on the team, they would have to cut one of Aaliyah Boston, DeWanna Bonner, or Caitlin Clark. And that's including cutting Jaylen Brown. Because they can't afford them. They're going to have to go out with 11 players if they can't trade them. So they obviously have to make a move. They might have to attach more than they'd like, but they actually have to. So if the Fever do not trade a player away that is not Jaylen Brown, if they do not trade a minimum contract player away, they have to start next season with 11 players. Or, there's a big or, Sydney Colson never gets registered. And that's not going to happen. So, yeah, if that's the case, if you're them, I'd just go and trade both my second rounds right now. Because they literally can't make the team. They literally can't make the team. So, right now the team's going to be over the cap. And even if you get rid of Jaylen Brown, a match contract with the second round pick, it's a big one. It's a big one. But, yeah, it's a good out situation to be in, I guess, that your team is this stacked. But that's the problem, is that you've got all of these players here, and then the freaking Lynn Dunn, you will never be forgiven for this. You will never be forgiven for giving Katie Lou Samuelson a multiple year guaranteed freaking near max. I actually cannot believe that they've done that. I cannot believe they've done that. And by the way, fair play to Holly Winterburn. Fair play to Holly Winterburn. Someone I've been watching since she was about 16 when she came over to play in Ireland. A big one. A really, really big signing for the Atlanta Dream. But you gave Katie Lou Samuelson, coming off pregnancy, a near max contract. Lyndon, you will pay for this. You will pay for this. Actually, she probably won't. She's got that job for life. But still, it's madness. It is absolute madness. But anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys, obviously this isn't do you guys agree or disagree? What do you guys think about this situation? Do you guys think what assets do you think they'll have to give up? I'd say you can get off Kirsty Wallace's contract without giving up a second. I genuinely think you'll have to give up a first to get off Katie Lou's contract. But anyway, I'll see you guys.